This video will be going over the Machinist quests that span levels 50 to 60. This is mainly because the quests leading up to this are about getting into the feel of the newish physical range job and introducing its abilities. So you're a machinist. You've been trained by the pirate Rosenthal and you have a few abilities under your belt. Do you think you're above the class system of Ishgard? Well, come talk to FFXIV and you will be invited to join in an upcoming competition with the Ishgardian Knights to show that your common-born gun can be just as mighty as a noble-born sword. In the level 50 quest Rage Against the Machinists, Steph will ask you to gather the other machinists to have a last pep talk. Outside we find Joy, who heard a commotion and goes to investigate. We find Rosenthal, who believes this is the work of troublemakers and tasks us with non-lethally shooting suspicious individuals. After dealing with the losers, we find out a large amount of supplies for the tourney were sabotaged. Steph decides we will attend the tourney anyway and win despite the setback. This is to prove that machinists are not stopped so easily. In the quest, The Power of Attorney, we head to Camp Dragonhead to get a rundown of how the rules of the tourney will work. In the tourney, the machinist will have control of a banner and must protect it while the knights attempt to destroy it. While that is happening, the machinist will need to fight through the knights in an attempt to destroy the knights' banner. Steph will make a plan to occupy the main knight force and have his friends sneak around to the knights' banner and destroy it while the knights are busy. This goes very well, and not just because the warrior of light is able to cut through the knights like toilet paper. The head knight Grinch admits the machinists aren't entirely a waste but still isn't happy with them, and FFXIV is given full control of the manufactory. In a joyless celebration, we find out that our ace machinist Joy quit her job at Steph's manor and got married. This puts the post-tourney celebration on hold as we need to find out why she didn't say anything. In Pushing the Broom, we are sent to Mordona to acquire Garlean tech so that Steph can create a newer piece of tech to help us out when we go machinisting. After we return, we get word that some people in the slums may have an idea on what happened with Joy, so we ask around and find out her father managed to land some steady work out in Falcon's Nest, and that we may find Joy there. We go and find Joy, and she tells us this new life of hers is better for everyone and tells the members of the manufactory to get lost. Celestial thinks there's more to this story and storms out to investigate on his own. In a joyful reunion, the machinists are enlisted to aid the knights in the defense of a bridge from a dragon attack. But right before the operation, Celis informs us that the reason Joy left was because her father had been kidnapped after showing up to his new job. Steph sends us to rescue Joy's father, who we find is being guarded by a lowborn man willing to abandon this dead-end job in favor of steady work as a machinist. We go back to aid in the bridge operation, which goes well. However, we don't see an ambush behind us until it's too late. Luckily, with Joy no longer confined to her new role with the release of her father, she rushes to the bridge and saves us. Grinch is also at the bridge, who once again isn't happy to see the machinist being successful. Back at the manufactory, in the quest Wheels of Justice, we are confronted by a knight who tells us we are being investigated for the unlawful firing of our weapons during Joy's father's rescue. We decide to look for a way to set the record straight by talking to the man who was guarding Joy's father. However, it seems we were too late as it appears he himself was kidnapped. Finding a few clues leads to Tailfeather where we can see the man being held captive, so we rescue him and he goes to amend the record. In Taking the Fall, we find out that the testimony given by the kidnapped man will not be enough to make the investigation end. Grinch also arrives to gloat about his imminent win. Tettle also tells us a way to make all these problems go away would be to take out a troublesome dragon, but that is impossible because it's so strong. This is when Rosenthal decides to turn himself in as the perpetrator to give the manufactory a chance to escape punishment. Steph hates the idea and has us go collect clear crystals so he can create a new upgrade to show Rosenthal the potential of the machinists. In Rusted Steel, we make for the pillars to stop Rosenthal from handing himself over. We shoot him and he tells us of his past. He trained a group of soldiers and when time came, he sent them off unprepared to their deaths. He sees he was foolish and that he wants to be front and center when we go to take out the troublesome dragon as a form of penance. In Rise of the Machinists, we speak with the other machinists before the operation to take out the dragon Very Sellen. Afterwards, we meet with Grinch and a priest serving as witness to the operation. At first, things look to be going well. However, when Very Sellen makes its appearance, it attacks and incapacitates Grinch. Things then take a turn for the worse. We must then defeat Very while making sure not to let Grinch die. After a long fight, Very Sellen and his soldiers are defeated. Grinch finally sees why having a squad of machinists can be a life-saving and accepts the machinists of the manufactory. He also drops his charges against them and promises to work with them from now on. In a final word, FFXIV tells us we have outgrown the manufactory and wishes us luck in the future.